steal our money, they call it tax, and then they spend it on their pet projects. We literally pay these people not only their salaries, but the rest of our money that they take, and they spend it on getting re-elected.
Another group of people who were spending your money on yes campaigns, failed obviously, were councils. You know, every now and again you hear someone say something and you wish you'd said it first.
Sometimes I wish I was a lesbian.
Did I say that out loud?
Well, I sort of had that experience when Chris O'Keefe on 2GB had the brilliant idea, I can't believe we didn't think of it first here, that these councils who wasted your ratepayers' money supporting the voice to Parliament in the tens of thousands of dollars in some cases, the councillors themselves who supported it should pay that money back.
Local councils have absolutely no place to be spending ratepayers' money on social causes ever. All of them should give discounts on rate notices as of next quarter.
Quite right. I mean, you spent our money on a failure, on a political motive that was really no business of your council whatsoever, and what we're just meant to deal with the fact that our rates have gone up. I mean, look, the rates on one of my properties, or my property in Adelaide, has gone up. They want an extra $1,000 in the first quarter, for heaven's sake. I mean, that's just come out of nowhere. And all of you watching at home who are sitting there having to deal with your mortgage going up, your council rates going up, where does this money come from? It doesn't seem to matter to the councils. They can do whatever they want and they can compulsorily take the money from you. But Chris O'Keefe also pointed out Nathan Cleary, who is the captain of the Penrith Panthers, the man who saved the Penrith Panthers in the dying moments of the NRL Grand Final this year. He came out just a day after the NRL Grand Final and backed the voice to Parliament. And of course the Prime Minister came out after that and he said,
it's just devastating.
And of course the Prime Minister came out after that and he said, whoa, how good is this? You know, Nathan Cleary's going to save the voice to Parliament like he saved the Penrith Panthers in the Grand Final. Of course he didn't do that. But O'Keefe looked at the polling booth numbers in Penrith itself, the heartland of Penrith Panthers, and how much sway do you reckon Nathan Cleary had?
Because at the booth at Penrith Panthers Leagues Club on Saturday, 3,800 people adopted their captain's position and voted yes. 3,800 voted yes at Panthers on Saturday, while close to 10,000 voted no.
What a surprise! Can we end once and for all being lectured by celebrities and sports stars and sporting codes about this stuff, because it does not work? In fact, I think it turns people off.
I tell you what, people in Penrith might not be educated, according to Waleed Ali.
And then we have the project and Waleed Ali's remarks, which many are seeing as sneering and condescending.
The biggest dividing line seems to have been education. So if you are in a seat that had high levels of tertiary education, a bachelor or postgrad, then you were at the very top end of the yes vote. And if you had the lowest levels of tertiary education, you were at the low end of the yes vote. And that's not to say people who are educated know what they're doing and people who don't have tertiary education don't. It's about the style of the message, I think.
Oh yes, all those silly people who don't have higher education, who are obviously, I don't know, too stupid to understand the complexities of inserting racial privilege into the Constitution.
But they're smart enough to be able to differentiate between a footballer's footballing ability and his constitutional
Thank goodness.
expertise. But to imagine that people would vote yes because Nathan Cleary, who had led Penrith to their third premiership and won the Clive Churchill Medal in doing so great football, but to imagine, oh, if he backs the voice, I will too, is incredibly insulting. And what was even more insulting is Nathan Cleary said in his clip, he said, no voice, no choice. That's it. which doesn't even make sense. But so little do elites think of most of us that they didn't even believe the message needed to make sense to convince us. If you just hear a footballer say anything that includes the word yes, you'll vote yes.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Well, as it turns out, people weren't that stupid.
I'm an individual, you can't fool me. An individual, you can't fool me.
No, indeed. I'm not even sure anymore that people do believe in celebrity endorsements. I think these celebrities do it simply as their own virtue signal. They do there was an Alicia Keys post today where she just out and out was backing Palestine, I would argue Hamas. She was literally talking about, I've always wanted to go paragliding. We know that's how the murderers sailed into the music concert before they killed hundreds of innocents in cold blood.
Shame, shame, shame.
I no longer think that a lot of these celebrities are doing it because they think, oh, if I do it, I'll get people on board. It's more just for their own, I'm virtue signalling. And that is what has made virtue signalling such a rock star thing to do. Our politicians do it day in, day out. Does it sway votes? Not really. We can all tell a virtue signal when we see it, but they want to do it simply for their own PR, which is bizarre because, like we've talked about, this is so transparent to people. We see straight through it. We know you're full of BS. But to the point of the fact that here are these councils legitimately, illegitimately taking our money and spending it on something that we never signed up for, we never asked for. When you think about it, every single level of government does that, federal, state and local. They steal our money, they call it tax, and then they spend it on their pet projects. We literally pay these people not only their salaries, but the rest of our money that they take, and they spend it on getting re-elected. Basically, they spend it on projects that serve their purposes. The fact that this system works at all, that we allow it to continue the way that it is utterly laughable.
I reckon people get to your next local council meeting, and I've been to a lot of them in my time when I was a local government reporter. People power does matter, and they do actually take some notice sometimes. So get down to your next council meeting, whenever that might be, make up a sign, get out the front and say, pay it back, pay it back. Put some pressure on these people to actually do something good for once.